Some episodes may contain graphic content or sensitive topics, while all episodes will consistently feature offensive language and absurd speculations from two opinionated women on a spiritual journey just trying to figure shit out. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Hex Haven Podcast, hosted by your favorite Midwest mystics, Sharon and Heather.
Thanks for joining us on this super dreary day. It's rainy and cloudy, and it was nice this morning, like warm. It was pretty warm.
70 yesterday. Again, We've had a teaser of a good day, and then now another crappy rainy day.
Right. I think we're past all like the false springs at this point. I think the next warm day,
it better be.
It's got to be it.
Because I need some sunshine. I need
real.
some camping nights. I need it.
Yes.
Like, I need it.
I do too. And I'm getting a pool this summer. So,
girl,
like a big
where
pool.
I'm going to be. On my weekends, I'm not up north.
Hell yeah.
I will be over.
It's like 4 feet tall.
Okay,
so,
nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. It took me 4 years to convince Jay to get one because, God forbid, a little bit of his grass is not there.
Oh, no. Oh, he's one of those guys.
He is
super proud of his lawn,
absolutely, yeah.
What kind of mower he's got?
Not a riding one, but if he had his way, he'd have one of those.
I am sure he would. Oh, my gosh.
I don't have any fucking clue what kind of lawnmower we got.
Right. You're like, that is not anything I need to know. But yes, men are very proud of their lawns.
Yeah. I was kind of like making fun of him because I remember my grandpa, he was looking for a riding mower, and I don't actually think he ever actually bought one, but he sure did spend a hell of a lot of time researching riding lawnmowers and watching YouTube videos on them.
Really?
When I was up there once,
the funny things that men enjoy.
Yeah.
They are such different creatures,
like,
aren't they?
The most unfascinating thing I've ever watched in my entire life. Like,
oh, boy.
Jesus.
The difference between men and women.
Right. So, what do you got for us today?
Well, today we're going to talk about the Fox sisters. The last episode we did Lilydale, and I was unsure if I was going to do a part 1, part 2, so this is just a new episode.
Yeah.
Which is technically the part 2, but it's about the Fox sisters.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, in case you guys missed it, we learned about the Fox sisters back in our Ouija board history episode.
Yep.
It's season 1, episode 19, From Raps to Retail, the Ouija board story.
Ooh.
So go and give that a listen
19,
if you want.
Huh?
Yeah,
wow.
If you want to get a little precursor for what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, absolutely. So the majority of the information that I found about the Fox sisters online, there's tons of like little mini articles, but I found 2 really good articles. One is called The Fox Sisters, and it's from PSI Encyclopedia. Okay. It was published in 2018. We can certainly do the links for that for anyone to read it. And the other one that I found, which was super cool, was an article written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in 1922. And this is from a magazine that is called like the Quarterly Transactions BCPS, and it's from 1922.
Long time ago,
and had some delightful old-timey language to
I'm sure
decipher.
I'm so excited. So you'll get a lot of Midwestern isms out of us.
There. You know. Margarita and Katharina, both known as Maggie and Kate, were the youngest of 6 children born to Margaret Fox and her husband, John David Fox, who was a blacksmith.
Okay.
You know what? Which, I don't know if I mentioned the name, but the article that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wrote was called The Mystery of the Three Fox Sisters, which is the article that I ran into months ago where I said, oh, shit, there's 3 of them?
Yes, I remember you mentioning that.
Yep, and as I'm reading this, I'm like, wait, I forgot to say that this is indeed the article. Some of the information I got is from this article.
Okay.
Both sisters were born in Consicon, Prince Edward County, Ontario. They were born after their parents reconciled following a brief separation in the 1820s. They had separated after the birth of their first child and then making Maggie and Kate the 5th and 6th children.
Okay.
This is purely speculation, but the separation was likely due to John's struggle with alcoholism.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that'll do it.
That'll do it for sure.
That gets a lot
And
of people.
imagine, you're on your 4th fucking kid and your husband's an alcoholic.
Fuck yeah, man.
Dude, I mean, but she liked him enough to have 5 and 6.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, we're all flawed.
Yeah. Girl.
You can love an alcoholic.
Yeah. This is so true. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's absolutely true. But he later reformed and became a Methodist.
Oh, good.
Yeah, good for him, right?
Maybe that's why they went on to have more kids.
Yeah, maybe. The Bible says you should... I don't know what the Bible says. I don't know what I just fucking forget. The Bible says you should lay down with your husband, which it probably does.
The Bible does say that...
Something like if your husband commands you to do something...
Yeah, it does say that... Well, I mean, I shouldn't say the Bible says, but Christians do say that you shouldn't divorce your husband even if he's an alcoholic.
They don't even condone divorce, period.
Right. At least they didn't. I think it's a lot different today. But not in the early 1900s.
Oh, no. Yeah, and we're talking like the 1840s. Yeah. So, no, you definitely did not get divorced. You were widowed. That was the only way you could move on.
Right.
Or... I don't know, your husband fell off a horse. I don't know.
Drank himself to death.
And imagine how fucking strong the alcohol was then.
Oh, God.
You know, it's not like they were drinking fucking Twisted Tea black cherries or carblets.
By the way, guys, Twisted Tea has a black cherry one now, apparently. And it's really fucking good.
I wish I liked tea. I'm not a fan of tea.
Oh.
So during the 1800s, the Fox family moved back to Rochester, New York, and in December 1847, they relocated to a rented house in Hydesville, about 30 miles away.
Okay, which is close to... Did we say that was close to Lilydale?
No, so they take this house from Hydesville and moved it to Lilydale.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't know that we talked much about the house in the Lilydale episode because I was trying to keep them kind of separate.
Right, yeah.
So probably talk about that again later.
Okay.
1848, while still children, Maggie, 14 years old, and Kate, 12, became the focus of poltergeist-like disturbances that helped spark the rise of spiritualism, a religious movement centered on communicating with spirits of the dead. Along with their older sister, Lee, who was born in 1813. So at this time, their sister, Lee, is about 35 years old.
Okay.
And she would be the third.
That's what I was just going to ask
sister.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So she lived in Rochester, but she didn't, live with her family. She lived on
her name was Lee?
Lee.
Lee,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Lee and her sisters later worked as spiritual mediums, a role that drew them into controversy for the rest of their lives.
Which is something that we know.
Yes.
All right, count.
Do you know what my
One Fox sister, 2 Fox sister, 3.
I love that. You know, when my oldest grandson was learning to count, he was obsessed with Sesame Street. And one time we're driving in the car, and from the back seat, 1, 2,
I love that.
So he thought he had to do the sound after every number.
Oh,
and
that's
the
so
most
adorable.
Freaking precious
Dude.
thing ever.
Let your kids watch Sesame Street, man. It's
so great.
Awesome.
And even my youngest one, if you go 1,
yeah.
he'll go 2.
Love it.
Oh Oh my God, that's so great. Yeah, that's so fantastic that you did that. I'm telling you.
I'm here all week.
So now we're going to get down to the Hydesville noises, okay? So at the end of March 1848, unaccounted for sounds were heard nightly at the Fox home. According to a signed statement made by the girl's mother, Margaret Fox, Margaret describes the disturbances as follows. The first night that we heard a rapping, we all got up and lit a candle. And let me tell you, it wasn't until I really read this where I was like, oh, no shit. Like, lit a candle. Like, you're not, like, turning on a light.
There's no lights, yeah.
Like, that makes you just realize how long ago this was.
Mm-hmm.
So, the first night that we heard the rapping, we all got up and lit a candle and searched all over the house. The noise continued while we were hunting and was heard near the same place all the time.
Or so it's in the same location, same
Yeah.
room? Okay.
Yeah. It was not very loud, yet it produced a jar of the bedsteads and chairs that could be felt by placing your hands on the chair or while you were in bed. It was a feeling of a tremulous motion more than a sudden jar.
Like somebody's knocking? Like if you touch a table and someone knocks on the table, you can feel like a vibration?
I guess,
Is
yeah.
what I'm imagining?
Well, she's saying produced a jar of the bedsteads. So bedsteads means bed frame.
Okay.
I assumed that's what it meant, but I double checked it to make sure.
I totally thought you meant, or you said bed seed, and I was going to ask you what the fuck that was.
A bed seed?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, these fucking Methodists and their fucking bed seeds. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Is this Princess and the Pea type shit?
No, it's a bed frame. But if you imagine if it's jarring, to me is like a sudden...
Then it's moving.
A movement, right? Yeah, but she says it was a tremulous motion, and tremulous means like shaking or quivering.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's not a knocking. That's like a movement.
Yeah.
Like a vibration, maybe.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
The strange sounds persisted night after night, resisting every effort to discover their source until the family grew worn out from lack of sleep. One evening, they retired early as usual, and the disturbances soon began again. Kate, who shared a bed with Maggie, snapped her fingers in imitation of the noises. To their surprise, the sounds appeared to answer, repeating the same number of snaps she had made.
Wow.
Maggie then followed suit, saying, "Do as I do." And once more, the raps matched her count.
Okay.
When she asked for 10 raps without making any herself, 10 distant knocks were heard in reply.
It was Maggie that did the snapping?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So Maggie is tapped into something?
Yep. So in the statement that the mom, Margaret Fox, had made, she also says, I then asked if it was a human being that was making the noise, and if it was, to manifest it by the same noise. There was no noise. I then asked it if it was a spirit, and if it was, to manifest it by two sounds. I heard two sounds as soon as the words were spoken. I then asked if it was an injured spirit to give me the sign, and I heard the rapping distinctly. I then ascertained by the same method that its remains were buried under the dwelling and how old it was. So she was asking it, like, are you a spirit? Knock twice. Did you die here? Are you buried here? Mm-hmm. Knock once for yes, twice for no. Yeah. So the mother says she went on to communicate.
Okay.
With the spirit. Neighbors who came to investigate attempted to communicate with the unseen presence in the same manner. They later claimed that the responses to their questions revealed detailed knowledge about their personal lives and families. Information they believed the Fox girls could not have known.
That reminds me of that couple from the Conjuring house that I talk to you about.
Oh, yeah.
Because they knew stuff about the guests that, like, they're really... As far as the Sam and Colby said, like, that they could have never known. So, I don't know if you watched those episodes that I sent you, but you should check them out.
No, but it is on my list, I promise you, of things that I want to...
Because I'm curious, like, I kind of want to look more into that couple, because the only thing I've ever seen about them is from Sam and Colby, and Sam and Colby sometimes, like, they're YouTubers. They're one of the original, like, people who got rich off of YouTube, and I'm not trying to claim that they're fakers or anything like that, but I do think that, like, for me, I would need more than just their episodes to confirm that that's real.
Well, and anybody can go into it honest in the beginning, but then when you have that in the back of your mind, I need more views, I need more views, I need more views.
And you get all this, it's added pressure from additional viewers.
You could do...
Yeah,
you could maybe do things that are dishonest, and I'm not suggesting they did at all.
Right, definitely not.
But, you know, here's the thing, though, is... So, what I'm gathering from what I read, the situation with the neighbors is, like, they were asking basically, like, yes-no questions.
Okay, so it's a 50-50 shot anyways.
It's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can ask, like, 10 questions, and if they got half right, they're like, oh, my God, they got half right.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
see, and that is a little bit different, because the Conjuring House couple, they spell out the alphabet, and then the spirit taps when they get to a letter, and they literally spell out full sentences.
Yes, so that's very different.
Yeah.
In this case, it was like... It was them asking yes or no questions. Like, tap once for yes, twice for no.
Doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't real, but it definitely, I mean, you gotta remain practical in thinking,
right.
You know.
I think, and in the sense saying, like, they knew things people wouldn't have known.
Right. They just answered yes or no.
They just answered yes or no.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not like they were, like, became possessed and said, like, you had an affair with the mailman.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, shit, no one knew that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like those kind of revelations.
Right.
So, you know, ultimate skeptic I am, so.
You never know.
Yeah.
It's one of those mysteries.
Right. In statements given by Margaret Fox and the neighbors, the entity reportedly identified itself as a traveling peddler who had been murdered for his money by a former resident, John Bell, and whose body, it said, had been buried beneath the floor. And other things, I noticed he was referred to as the Hydesville peddler.
Okay.
Before long, the house was crowded with curious visitors, many of whom also heard the mysterious sounds in the evening. At one point, efforts were made to excavate the cellar and search for remains, but nothing was found.
Okay. So the peddler said that he was killed there?
Yes, so the peddler said he was killed there by a former resident, John Bell.
Okay.
John Bell murdered him for money.
Okay, so I'm assuming that they were able to identify that John Bell was a former thing, but they were never able to find a body.
No, they didn't find a body, and I don't know if John Bell was still alive at this time. I honestly did not look up John Bell. But I imagine if they're, like, accusing some dude of murder, I would think that he was already passed on. Because I'm thinking...
Like an old spirit. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I'm thinking, like, the skeptic in me. If this is a fraud... They can't legit, like, accuse a living person of murdering someone.
Right, I suppose.
Right? Because, I mean...
They can.
They can, but I don't know what their laws were about no bodies. Because there's a lot of states that, like, have no body, no crime. Yeah. Until a body is found, you can't be prosecuted for murder. So I don't know if that was the case back in 1848. But... I would hope that no one would wrongfully... I don't know, though. I mean...
You never know.
I give people more credit than I probably should, man. God damn it.
I don't know. I'm curious, though. Like, I am curious if they ever found out if that part of the story was true.
Well,
I guess we'll
get on with our story.
Yeah.
By this point, it was evident that the sounds, commonly called the raps or knockings, were linked to the two girls. In a later written account, their older sister Lee, who was living in Rochester at the time, claimed that other phenomenon also occurred in their presence. Tables shifting, doors open and closed on their own. People felt the touch of cold hands, and the sound of dancing in clogs was heard.
In the house? The dancing in clogs? Okay.
Yeah. These occurrences were widely attributed to unseen spirits and helped lay the conceptual groundwork for what soon developed into the new religious movement of spiritualism. The Fox girls soon began holding public demonstrations in Rochester, where the supposed spirits were said to continue making their presence known. Meanwhile, a more thorough search of the Hydesville house reportedly uncovered strands of hair and fragments of bone.
What?
Yes. And they didn't have DNA testing.
Yeah.
So,
and so they because now you can take a bone and you can tell if it's a human bone or an animal bone.
Yes, and that was something I was going to say too, is this could have been a dead raccoon.
Right.
A raccoon that died under their fucking house.
Or even, like, an animal that was, like, slaughtered and, like, turned into food.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like,
mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Still crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, yes, there was hair and fragments of bone found, but we don't know if they're human bone. We don't know if it's human hair. It was just a guesstimation, you know.
Right.
The forensic technology was not top-notch.
Yeah.
Public fascination with the sisters intensified. Kate was invited to stay with Eli Capron, a young journalist, and his wife in Auburn, New York. She agreed to undergo a series of tests. Capron later described these sittings in a book published the following year, providing one of the earliest and most detailed accounts of psychic mediumship.
Ooh.
During sessions conducted in various rooms and under different lighting conditions, tables were said to tip, small chairs seemed fixed to the floor as if glued in place.
Oh, shit.
Musical instruments reportedly played without visible hands, and participants felt unseen touches. Capron also described questioning the source of the sounds. When he asked whether a human being was producing them, there was no response. When he asked if it was a spirit and requested 2 sounds as a confirmation, 2 raps were immediately heard. By posing further questions in this manner, he concluded that the presence claimed to be a spirit of a person who had been injured in the house, whose remains were buried beneath it, and whose alleged assailant was still living.
So they're
testing her.
Who's testing her?
Capron is testing Kate.
Okay, yeah.
Kate went to stay with him and his wife.
Oh,
because he wanted to study her to prove to everybody, like, she's legit.
Gotcha, okay.
And then he went on to, like, write a book, and shame on me, I didn't write it down because it was, like, a super annoyingly long title.
I hate those.
Because, I mean, really, it had, like, 26 words in the title. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the book about the conceptual contribution of the tapping noise behind the mediumship. Yeah. And it's like, good grief! Just say it's about Kate Fox.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Why do we have to have, like, 20 words in the title? And he went on to write 2 books about it.
Wow.
So yeah, go ahead and research that on your own, people.
Yeah.
But, if you come across some books written by him with some annoyingly long titles, you know you're in the right place.
I was going to say, then you found where you're supposed to be.
But I was like, come on. And Aleister Crowley, remember, was like that. Yeah. Like, all his publications were, like, 2 sentences long.
Yes.
It's like, just write it's a book of poetry.
Right.
I mean... Why does everything have to be so drug out? Before I move on, I just want to point out, once again, he's testing her, though, asking her, like, yes or no questions.
Right.
1 tap, 2 tap questions.
Right.
And if they've already established
I was gonna say,
all
it's
of
the
this,
same...
how is this a test if you're asking her the same questions?
Right, and that was what I was kind of getting at before, was like, what this dude is saying is the same backstory of the spirit that the mother was giving in her statement.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's all already been established. So what's being tested?
Yeah. So what's being tested?
I mean, he could be like looking to see if he can establish where the tapping sounds are coming from, like that kind of thing, trying to see if he can debunk it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I get it to that extent, but you would think that they would have gone on with more questions to see what other kind of responses, or maybe tried something that wasn't a yes or a no.
Right.
You
Let's
know,
try a different question.
If you're actually
Let's
testing.
ask about something else.
Yeah,
maybe.
you gotta have a control
Mm-hmm.
and like an experiment.
Yep. Maggie remained in Rochester with her older sister Lee, who was by then also reported to be facilitating spiritual communications.
Okay.
So now their sister can communicate with spirits as well.
Mm-hmm.
In July of 1848, several attendees of the Seneca Falls Convention, a gathering focused on women's rights and the abolition of slavery. We talked about this we mentioned it a few times in the Lilydale episode.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because it was a pretty tumultuous time in
Yep.
that area.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, really the whole of America, but you know what I mean.
So several of the attendees were invited to private demonstrations by the two sisters.
Okay.
By Maggie and Lee.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Among them were prominent female feminists, Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Amy Post. And we've heard a lot about Amy Post.
Mm-hmm.
She has a husband, Isaac. We first learned about them in the Morris Pratt episode, and then we did talk about them again in Lilydale.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm. In 1849, the spirits were said to urge the public meetings to be held to proclaim the reality of life after death. As a result, large gatherings took place at Rochester's Corinthian Hall, drawing audiences of several hundred people. Between Wednesday, November 14th, and Saturday, November 17th, 3 separate committees attempted to determine the source of the mysterious sounds.
Okay.
So at this point, what is happening is the 2 Fox sisters are there, and they're like, okay, we're going to hold some seances. Come on. We want everybody that's going to come debunk us, come.
Yeah, and it
come
sounds
watch
like,
us.
From the way that you phrase that they did that at the behest of the spirit's wishes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
that's what they say. The spirit said,
time.
You need to let everybody know what's going on. You need to show them that you're not faking it.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the sisters were made to stand on pillows with the hems of their dresses secured to their ankles.
Wow.
And they were even subjected to strip searches.
Oh my God.
Yes. Despite these precautions, the rapping noises reportedly continued, and none of the committees succeeded in exposing any trickery.
Wow.
Okay, frustrated by the outcome, critics disrupted the proceedings, and the sisters ultimately had to be escorted away under police protection.
Wow. So they were mad.
They were mad that no one could debunk them
as fakers.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just decided, we're just going to attack these women.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Bunch of fucking winners over there.
Yep. Subsequent public engagements were called off because of this.
Yeah.
But the 3 Fox sisters continued holding sittings at Lee's house in Rochester. In 1850, visitors began offering them money, making the start of their careers as professional mediums. They toured several cities across New York State, including Albany, Troy, Buffalo, and eventually New York City.
Okay.
After her first husband left her, Lee remarried and relocated to New York City. Maggie and Kate stayed with her when they were not traveling, and their mother Margaret frequently joined them. Meanwhile, the flourishing movement of spiritualism spread rapidly, which we learned about in Lily Dale.
Yeah.
Séance circles sprang up across the country, and a steady stream of books, pamphlets, and periodicals devoted to spiritual communication appeared in print. That same year, Horace Greeley, editor of the New York Tribune, invited Kate to live with his family so he could continue her education, having been struck by the apparent accuracy of wrapped messages that answered questions about his 4 deceased children.
Oh.
So, bless his heart. Like, she probably gave him
a lot of peace.
A lot of peace.
Yeah.
And because he felt that, he was like, okay, I want you to continue your education, and I want you to come live here. And if you remember, I want to say in the Morris Pratt episode, we talked about how Morris Pratt and the Post sponsored her to go live. Mm-hmm. This is where she lives with them now.
Okay.
So but if you think about it, these poor girls, they're living with their parents, and then they live with their sister, and then the one lives with this guy that's testing her.
Right.
And now, poor Kate keeps sending her away. And she was the younger of the two. She was 12, like, when this first started.
I mean, and even with the best of intentions, like, I imagine that her life she probably experienced some trauma being a young girl away from her parents.
Well, and you think about, though, that time, 12 was probably considered old.
Yeah, that's like prime baby making years, which is fucking disgusting.
Which absolutely is disgusting.
I mean, that's like when girls are starting to develop and actually can have children.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like between
fucking
10
gross.
years old and 18, really, I think.
God.
Yuck.
All right, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
Refill your beverages. Do what you do during breaks, because we'll be right back.
All right.
We are back.
Welcome back.
Welcome. We had a really funny conversation off.
We sure did.
Off the record, we'll say. But now we're going to talk about the family life of the Foxes. Okay. In 1852, Maggie became acquainted with the explorer Elijah Kent Kane, and the two embarked on an on-again, off-again courtship. Kane's family disapproved of the relationship, and he urged Maggie to abandon public mediumship, which he, like many at the time, considered this not to be respectful.
I was going to say, I bet you they were Christian or Catholic.
Oh, yeah. Kane died in February 1857.
So they were together for about 5 years, on again, off again?
So Maggie was like...
Oh, she's like 19 then, right?
Okay, so she's like 19. Okay. I'm just doing some math now, and I'm like,
when you said 19, I was like, how old is Eliza Kate?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're like a famous explorer, I feel like...
You've got some years under your
You
belt,
got some years. You're not like a 17-year-old famous explorer. Maybe, though. I don't know.
Could be.
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
Yeah. This is true.
So Kane died in February of 1857. So like 5 years.
Yeah.
They were together.
After they met, yeah.
Maggie maintained that they had been secretly married shortly before he left for England on October 11th, 1856. And she thereafter referred to herself as his widow, though his family did not recognize the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Following his death, she suffered a nervous collapse and developed a heavy dependence on alcohol.
Oh.
I know, how sad. And, like, she's fucking 19!
Right.
What the fuck?
And, like, you know, the whole on again, off again probably had a lot to do with his family's opinion of her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure they were probably huge Bible thumpers.
And they probably were married.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, in keeping with Cain's wishes, she converted to Catholicism.
Oh, shit.
And renounced spiritualism.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Financial necessity, however, eventually compelled her to resume her work as a medium.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Lee married her third husband, Daniel Underhill, in 1865.
How the fuck this bitch get 3 husbands?
That's what I'm saying.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know, maybe there was, like, divorce back then, but...
I imagine they were dying.
Yeah. I mean, the mortality rate is pretty high in the 1800s.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I wonder what the,
I don't know, like, railroad
was
trivia or knowledge, but I mean, I know just from, like, history things that I saw, like, when they were building the railroad, like, lots of people lost their lives.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have fucking OSHA or safety harnesses, right. Or, you know.
And not only that, but typhoid fever, yellow fever, scarlet fever,
yeah, all the
measles,
fevers.
polio, polio was eradicated by then, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Either way, lots of diseases that we didn't know how to treat yet.
Yeah. So in 1865, John Fox died of typhoid fever at the age of 76. So this is the father. He died.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And Margaret soon followed, succumbing to the same illness. So good old typhoid fever. Mm-hmm. We talked a lot about it in the Ouija board. Yes, Typhoid Mary. We talked about
in
the
New
Ouija.
York, right?
Yeah, it was a Ouija board episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we talked about... what president was it?
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his children had died from the typhoid fever, and his wife, Mary Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, it's all connecting together.
Yeah.
Following the loss of her parents, Kate began drinking heavily.
Oh, so now they're both drinking heavily.
So now they're both drinking heavily. Mm-hmm. Friends arranged for her to stay with the family of Dr. George Taylor, who provided medical care in exchange for her assistance in communicating with his deceased children. She also conducted sittings for his patients. In 1871, Kate traveled to England, where she met and married Henry Dietrich Jenkin.
Okay.
The couple had 2 sons. She continued working as a medium and participated in experiments with William Crookes.
Okay.
He was a British chemist and physicist who tested Kate's abilities while they were in England. So another person testing their abilities. Mm-hmm. After Henry's death in 1881, so after Kate's husband died, Kate returned to America with her sons, first staying with Lee and then later with her brother David. Okay, listeners, I am going to stop this episode here because there is a lot more that we need to talk about and I don't want it to get too long. So I hope you've enjoyed the Fox Sisters so far and you join us back for part 2.
Yep, and get the tea ready.
Get the tea.
You're gonna need it.
Oh, you're gonna need it. All right, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Hex Haven. If you enjoyed our content, please consider becoming a supporter on Patreon. We appreciate your support, and if you have any topic suggestions, please feel free to share them with us at hexhavenpodcast@gmail.com.
Original theme music for Hex Haven Podcast has been written, recorded, and produced by Matt Shook.